Hello everyone, welcome to Amani's Lightwork Keys to Akasha section of my channel. If you are a new subscriber, welcome. If you're just visiting, welcome as well. If you've been here from the beginning of time, I truly appreciate your continuous love and support. Okay, so before I begin with the reading I'm going to be doing today, I just want to say that everything that is covered on my channel is solely based on channeling and interpretation, which means that I am using my ability in the aid of spirit to get the readings done. Okay, I do have a couple of requests, so I am still off from work. I return to work next week, and I hopefully will get the opportunity to cover as many readings and even general readings as I possibly can before next week. Okay. Also, if you have any personal and private requests for me, you can send them to iofakasha108@gmail.com, or you can send me a direct message to my Instagram at AmaniIfe777, okay? My apologies for constantly changing email addresses, but it's because my other email address that I was using is full in terms of I've saved files to it and it pretty much ate up all the space. So that's why I started a new email address, okay? And like I said, if you have inquiries about that, you can always send me emails there, okay? So today I'm going to be doing King Von. Someone asked me to do King Von, I don't even know how many weeks ago, but now I'm getting the opportunity to cover him and look into his situation. His biological name is Dayvon. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly. It's Dayvon, and his middle name is Daquan, Daquan Bennett. Okay, so Devon Daquan Bennett. He was born August 9, 1994, so he was a Leo, and he passed away November 6, 2020. Okay, I did look to see what energies he had around him. I believe there was another rapper that he was friends with, that one that's an Aries element, and I believe the girl, Asian doll, that he was dealing with, I believe she's a Sagittarian female, okay? And I believe there's another Leo, no, not a Leo, there's a Virgo that they are claiming that pulled trigger. All right, I believe he was at an Atlanta nightclub, and then a fight broke out. But let's see what happened there. If any information that is important that I could gather. Okay. All right. Let's see. And you know what's important to keep in mind that is actually coming to my mind right now randomly. I mean, it may not even be random, but it's a really key component. And I believe that in these cases with these rappers, these musicians, the FBI, the FBI may be involved. The FBI may be investigating his case, and I do believe that whatever that they do privately, if it's, if they're clubbing, if they're involved with drugs, it just depends on what's going on. But they are, I'm not going to say them as in all of them, they are surveillanced in a sense. I just felt like that was important to say. Okay, but let's see what's going on here. All right, let's see. Devon Daquan Bennett. Born August 9, 1994. Died November 6, 2020. Devon Daquan Bennett. Born August 9, 1994. Died November 6, 2020. I'm getting the idea of smoking. So this could be smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, smoking Black and Mild, smoking whatever you want to consider, pipes, whatever it is, that could be related to that. Smoking could also be metaphoric. Sometimes people use smoking when something is going awry, in terms of business. Okay, smoking in the club, smoking in the bathroom, smoking in the lounge. It just depends on what's going on. That's just one situation about it as well too. I'm being drawn to the idea of police or like cops. I know they were involved after the fact, but I'm getting this idea that they may have been involved the entire time. Like they may have been involved the entire time not of his career necessarily. It could have been on that day. Yes, possibly his entire career, like an agent. It could be an FBI agent, someone that really kept him surveillance, people that, whatever he was dealing with in conjunction with his career may have caused him to attract some type of FBI and police and private investigator kind of energy. But let's see what's going on here. Okay, same thing as Pop Smoke. The same kind of situation with him, where in the news they will show you, what they do in the news is they will show you images of people that they claim pulled the trigger, that they claim were involved, that they claim, and then they're pretty much going to create this story that, okay, these are the young people that we're going to pin this issue on and pretty much plaster the images on social media, but that may not be the case. Okay, but let's see. 2, 3. Alright, so let's see. The Wheel of Fortune energy is underneath. Wheel of Fortune is giving me the idea of his musical contract that he signed. I'm being drawn to an older woman, like a female. I don't feel like this is his girlfriend necessarily. I feel like this is someone who may have given him a contractual agreement for his music, for him to sign, with one of those record labels, like a music industry lawyer, a music industry accountant of some kind. I'm getting the idea as I'm talking about her that she stole. She could be a black female that's older, that works in the industry, that's responsible for those contracts and the signing of those contracts. That's one. She could also be Jewish as well too, like a Jewish white female that is really behind the scenes of one of those labels. Okay, something is going on with her that's really interesting. So either she could be a black woman, or she could be, they have black Jews as well too. If a black woman is intertwined with the music industry to such an extent, then they're going to be intertwined with Jewish indoctrinations of the music industry. Because if you're dealing with the Kabbalah, you're dealing with the tree of life, you're dealing with all that, that's a part of their system. So if they run the music industry, that's important to keep in mind, because it's by their design, it's their foundation, that Kabbalion foundation. That may be something that these artists don't know, and something about that system, it's a good system, but something about it is it can also work against them in a really mystical way. Okay, if that's the case, spiritual way, theological way, however you want to look at it. But if it's a Jewish woman or Jewish men that are responsible for issuing out these contracts, and there's a situation where they're not paying attention to how these contracts work, they're not going to, they're not going to a Baba and giving the Baba the contract to look over and making sure that it's okay for their spirit. There's a lot that goes into it that is religious, that they don't really pay attention to, if that's the case. But anyway, the Wheel of Fortune is here, and that would be his contract. I'm also getting the idea of a payment. So it could be a payment that he was supposed to receive. It could be a payment that he didn't make. So it just depends on what's going on, okay? And it could be payment as in his soul, however you want to look at it. The starting point has the Strength card. This is the sign of Leo, and this is him. Okay, I don't know if there's any other Leo energies around him. I'm sure if you're in a nightclub, he's in a nightclub, of course, there would be other Leo energies that would be around him. But this is him for right now on his starting point. And I'm keep being drawn to the contract and the signing of the contract and the payment and not getting a payment. When I said not getting a payment, I'm also getting this idea of him not using his intuition about. As I'm looking at the woman that's right here, the crown, I kind of see that as a symbol of intuition. Even right here at the top, as a symbol of intuition. Okay, your cranium, the top of your skull, the crown chakra area, where his thinking and rational thinking and logical and creative thinking, all that is coming through as. But it has to do with a payment that he didn't get. If I'm going to go with it being a payment that he didn't get. all right, or it was past due and he may have been searching for it. I am being drawn to an account as well too, like a bank account, or I don't know how they have it set up with the artist, if they have a separate account that they can get. They have an account set up for them where deposits can be made into. Now when I said deposits can be made into, I get tracks, so it has something to do with tracks, as in his music tracks, and how many tracks, like if he does a single, for example, that generates pay and that gets deposited into his account as well too. However many tracks he does, if he does a video with that one track, that also doubles the revenue, his revenue as an artist. Okay, and something's going on with those payments, or at least maybe not getting any of them, or maybe getting one, or missing two, missing one. It just depends on how many payments he's missing. And they were being extracted, those payments were being extracted, and they could have been given to another artist. It just depends on what's going on. But I'm getting the idea that that was the game. That was the game that he was involved in. Game as in metaphorical game. Game as in business game, contract game, where his songs, whatever his songs made, revenue wise, that I'm also getting subtraction. So the idea of that, something that he was making, something was all a percentage of his makings from a one track that was being subtracted, and that could have been going to another artist, that could have been going to someone behind the scenes in the music industry. So it just depends on what's going on with him privately, in that sense, with his music, his tracks, what was happening with his music, what was happening percentage wise with his music, how much he was going to make from a song. Someone was taking a percentage of that, and it could have been one of those women, or the idea of that female music industry lawyer, music industry contractor that is behind the scenes of that. Okay, or it's another artist. It just depends. Could be another Leo that's there that may have been doing that. Okay, the Page of Wands energy is here. Page of Wands, he could be showing up as a Page of Wands, and there could have been the girl. Page of Wands could also be the energy of his partner and that of another artist. Like I was saying, there was another artist, I can't remember the name, but he was involved. He was in the scene at the time that the shooting occurred. He was around at that time. Another Aries element, that's the male, could be shown up there as well. So that's him, that's the energy of his girlfriend, and that's the energy of the other Aries energy, other Aries guy that was around at the time during the shooting. Okay, the spirit is giving me an idea of their contract, or their contracts collectively, or their contracts separately. All right, a portion of what he may have been making may be going to them, you know, and something about that could have caused an argument. So it could be a situation where if they are splitting a track together, if they're both rapping on one song, then a percentage of that he's supposed to get may be going to that other artist, and an argument could have broken out because of that. I'm also getting the idea of taxes. All of that, of course, is involved. Taxes are involved with that. Revenue was involved with that, going to the other artists. I'm getting the idea of now it is. So what was once supposed to be for him when he was living, that is now going to another artist. Could be both the female and male that is here, that a percentage of that is now going to, the taxes are now going to. Okay, I'm also getting this idea of suing. So that could have been something that he wanted to do. Like I was getting the idea of the female lawyer from the beginning. One of those could have been his lawyer, needing to discuss something like that from his lawyer. Like I said, why is something getting subtracted from his revenue? Why is something getting subtracted from his track? Why is a percentage of pay that he's supposed to receive from his track, why is that getting subtracted? Why is it going to them? And he may not have been seeing why, because it's a plan to get him off of the label, get him out of the record label, and for whatever he's making, it's going to go to someone else. And then he may have been discussing with his lawyer, you know, I need to sue. He could have brought that up. He could have brought that up to one of those music artists, the female and the male that he may have been dealing with there, because he could have found out that they're receiving a percentage of what he's supposed to have. or they're receiving a cut of what he's supposed to have. So, or it's being deducted, it's being reduced, it's being subtracted, it's going to them. So he's like, I want to sue, or he's talking to someone and saying, I need to sue. He may have been discussing with one of them that he wanted to sue, and they could have been getting nervous because one element about it is that he may not have known that it was them that was receiving that percentage or cut from what he was doing with his own song and his track. So they're becoming nervous, and so he's bringing it up to them, that missing payment from the beginning. He's bringing up that to them, and they may have been looking confused. They may have been looking like they didn't know what was going on, but they're the ones that are receiving that cut of what he did. So he's bringing it up to them, and he's venting to them, but he doesn't know that it's them that is receiving that cut from the industry. Okay, there's a lot of industry, tax-related secrecy, lawyer-related secrecy. There's suing involved in the situation. Need the strength to possibly sue one of them. He wanted to sue them. They are a part of the aesthetic. Okay, they're a part of his aesthetic. The Asian doll girl that they said that he was with, she's a part of his aesthetic. The dude that he's arguing with, or allegedly he was arguing with, that dude, that other rapper, is a part of the aesthetic. But they're a part of that heist with these lawyers in the industry against him for whatever reason. Okay, he doesn't know that, or he found that out, and he approached them about the matter, and they're looking confused, looking scared, looking nervous, and they don't want to be sued. Or it could even be the energy of a lawyer. That one element about it could be that he approached the two of them, or one of them singularly, expressing to them that something was stolen or missing or subtracted that he was supposed to receive from a track or a single. He expressed that to them. And so about the lawyer, or about his manager, about his accountant, about his music industry lawyer. So what's happening, he's expressing that to them, and that lawyer, that music industry accountant, that person is getting scared. That person is getting nervous because the percentage of what he is supposed to receive is going to that person, and he's looking in his account, where's the 10,000 that I was supposed to get for this track? 5,000 may have been going to the manager, may have been going to the lawyer, may have been going to the music industry contractor there. Okay, he's expressing it, or they are involved with that somehow, and he's venting to them about it, and they're trying to act like they don't know what's going on. The Three of Pentacles energy is in the present, and that's what the argument is about, leading up to his passing. That's one piece of the argument that somebody is trying to gather information on. The Three of Pentacles is right here. Three of Pentacles, the guy that they claim shot him was a Virgo, but this is Three of Pentacles as in his work environment. Okay, his work environment, his money, his taxes, his accounts, whatever that's financially going on with him between whatever's financially going on with him between the interactions that he has with his accountant, his managers, and then these other artists. They may have been in communication. Like I said, they were in communication with each other. I do get this idea of a house as well too. I don't know if he was trying to buy a house. He may have been trying to do that, or he may have already, I'm sure he already had one, or he may have wanted something bigger. Like he may have wanted to get something bigger than what he already had. Like an estate. Like that may have been something that he may have been promised, something like that, by one of the music industry lawyers. His music industry, his manager. Somebody promised him that he would get enough that he would be able to do that. Page of Wands here being like him, if it's not only the artist, Three of Pentacles and the Strength card, I want a bigger house. He may have wanted that for his parents or a mom or a sibling of some kind. He wanted to have those things. But I'm being drawn to the idea of getting it now. So when I ran through his family, or a family member, I don't know if the mother's living, a family member or a grandmother, somebody that is motherly That's why I was picking up that motherly energy from the beginning. In the beginning, I was getting more of like a lawyer, but if there's a motherly energy involved, or a sibling, or an aunt, somebody that is female that is intertwined here, a mother, a cousin, some type of family member, they're receiving that now. Like they're getting an estate that he would have had now. They're getting that now. And that could have been them having a discussion with his manager, with his accountant, with his music industry lawyer. How can we receive this, that okay, whatever was being subtracted that was his may have been going to a family member. Whatever, before he passed, or right before he passed, or even after he passed, someone is having discussion. Whatever he had or he was supposed to have, how can we, it's giving me the idea of the subtraction or the deduction, and whatever that could be tax related, yes, but some aspect about that is intertwined with something that a family member asked for, or a conversation that a family member meaning blood family member meaning someone who he considered to be like family. They're receiving that now. Like I kept getting the idea they're getting that now. They're getting that now. These other artists, they're getting it now. The family member or whatever, they're getting it now. But he tried to do that then when he was living. Okay, that's why the Three of Pentacles energy is here. But the idea of the suing is that there's an element about the idea of the suing where he doesn't know that a family member is behind the scenes with his information like that, and the family member may have been promised something and he doesn't know that. So but these other artists may know that, may have known that at the time, or it's a family member that just know there is a family member that knew that about another artist, that another artist was doing that to him. Another family member that could have been in the industry, or they're just another family member or a friend that could have been really involved, knows that was happening, that it's for them. Wow. Yeah, I can understand where somebody would fight over that. It's money is the root of all of evil. Nine of Wands is in the future, and the Instincts has the Ace of Wands energy. There's a lot of wands here. There's a lot of fire sign energies involved. Wands are also creative energies. Wands kind of give me the idea of the music industry, secrecy in the music industry, secrecy surrounding his accounts and money in the industry, who gets it, who has access to it. If a family inquired about something that he wasn't aware of, if another artist inquired about something that's for him, he wasn't aware of. With the Ace of Wands energy being in the Instincts. The Ace of Wands would be a new label. The Ace of Wands is a new label, the energy of a new label that he may have been thinking that he wanted to move to. That's why I said the suing, where's my percentage? He's talking to a lawyer about this, a manager about it. But they receive a cut. So when I said that they do receive a cut of that, but he doesn't know that they do. He didn't know that they were receiving a cut of that. So he's complaining about it. Ace of Wands is, he wants to storm off to a new label. He wants to move to a new label because of what's happening with this one. But he doesn't realize, or some of these artists may not realize, that these labels are like siblings to each other. They're intertwined. They're collectively working with these artists. But he may not realize that either. He may not have realized that then. So one label, he's finding out that things are being subtracted, but then he wants to go to another label, and he may have been in the works of going to another label, but he doesn't realize that the label that he wants to move to is tied to the label that he wants to leave, or is tied to the label that he wants to sue. He may have wanted to sue the label. So he shared out with other artists that really know why he wants to sue the label, but they're not sharing with him that they know why he wants to sue the label. So he's threatening to then leave the label. He's telling them that he wants to leave the label. He wants to sue the label. It's going to make the label look bad. So they are trying to possibly deter him away from making that kind of choice. Because if he leaves, But I get the way that he did. If he leaves the way, okay, this is really interesting. If he leaves the way, all right, the way he left the label was through passing. But if he left on his own, they weren't going to receive. If he left on his own alive, they would not have received. They would not have received what they were promised that was his. If he left the label on his own. But it's like, it's almost like he had to leave the label a certain way in order for them to receive something. I know it sounds creepy. He had to leave a certain way in order for them to receive what they received that was his. But then on the flip side, he also wanted to sue them. He wanted to sue the label as well. He wanted to sue the label. So he was in the works of suing them. The lawyer may not have been working something out properly with him. The lawyer was in on it too. You know, the lawyer was in on it too. It just depends on what's going on. The accomplishment has the Ace of Pentacles is right next to the Strength card. The Ace of Pentacles would also be the energy of a new label, would be the energy of a new job. If he did something outside of rapping, he could have been doing something like some other kind of work. I'm getting the idea of youth as well. Yes, he was youth. He would consider youth. I don't know if he was trying to do something with youth, like in the community necessarily. Like youth as in giving back to the community. Youth as in trying to help out young, maybe trying to be some type of, what do you call it? Like philanthropist for the youth of some kind. But through his music, that was something that he wanted to do, or something he was looking at. So if he wasn't only necessarily wanting to leave the label to go to another label, it was to leave the label to get a totally different job, some type of philanthropy work, some type of work like that. So either it's through music or it's something totally separate. He may have been considering that, and they may not have let him. A lawyer, a manager, or whoever, may have been suggesting that he not do that. And that could have been what made it difficult for him to make a living in some way. Because if he's realizing that it's happening, like he's realizing that he needs to sue the label, I feel like he may have been trying to leave the industry. He may have been trying to leave the industry totally. He may have been trying, that's why I said leaving the way he did. He was trying to leave because he was finding out what was happening, and because he threatened to sue, because of whatever. He's like, maybe I should just leave and live a regular life. Maybe I should just leave and have a regular job. I feel like that's what was happening with him. But there's an element about it where they may not have been letting him do that. And it's tax related into why they may not have been letting him do that. It's tax related. It's beneficiary related with these other artists. But I'm getting the idea that he should not have signed. So he should not have signed with the label. He shouldn't have signed. Like I explained from the beginning, the reason why he should not have signed. Okay? The spiritual self has the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups could be the energy of a mother. It could be literally like a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces female. It could be the energy of a mom. If the mother is not necessarily a water sign female, she could be embodying water sign female. Cups would be motherly energy. Cups represent family members. It could also be the energy of a lawyer or manager, someone that's female. Like I said from the beginning, someone that's female. And they're in the spiritual self. He could have been getting advice from this person. He could have been getting advice from a parent, advice from a family member. He was trying to get advice from them. I'm getting the feeling that this person uses his information. They were using it then, or they're using it now. They're using it then, or they were using it now. If this isn't only him, the Page of Wands, if it's not only him and the energy of those other artists, then it could be the feeling of a kid. It could be the energy of a child. He may have had children. I don't know if he had kids. Something could be going on here with a baby mother and a child. And something's going on there. He was young, but he's not too young he's not young in the sense where he can't have any children. That's why I was getting the idea of youth. Youth as in this energy could be a kid as well, that he may have been, that somebody may have been telling him that it was his, or it is his, and it's a Queen of Cups energy, and they still use his information now, and it's because he was involved in the industry, and what they receive, a lawyer may help their own lawyer, or his lawyer, their manager, may be helping her too. It's for her, and it's for a child that he had, or he was going to have. It's for a child and the mother of that child. It's for a child and the mother of that child. And it's tax related, and she was promised a lot. That could have been what the arguing was about. I don't know if he was trying to sue her necessarily, like a mother of his child, if he had children. He may have been trying to sue her, or that's the energy of the lawyer that may have been threatening to sue. And they belong to the industry. If you sue in the music industry lawyer, you sue the industry. And then if he managed to do that, it would have messed up something for a baby that he had on the way. The child was he either had it on the way or the child was born already, and it would have messed up some. She was thinking, whether it's a lawyer or a baby mother, she was thinking that it would have messed up something for her. It would have messed up something for a kid that he had, or that was on the way. It's going to mess up something for both of them. If he left, like I said, if he left the way he said he was going to leave, if he was able to sue, it would have messed up something for them. The mentality has the Seven of Pentacles energy. So Seven of Pentacles would be money, collecting money. He may have been trying to get money. Just depends on what's going on. Could be tax return related, music industry tax related. Seven of Pentacles. Or it's from a job. It's from a regular job that he was going to get. He was going to get another job. It's either music related or youth related job. Something is youth related about the job. YMCA, I don't know. Something's youth related. Youth related in the sense he could have still been doing his music, but as simple as going to perform at a YMCA for kids. That's a job. That's a gig. Something like that. Something along those lines, like that. He was a good person. I feel like he was a good person. He wanted to do things for the community. But this energy probably wouldn't let him do that, because there's a kid involved here. There's a kid involved that is his or someone else's kid. There's a child that's involved that is related to him, or that he had, or belongs to someone that he was dating, whatever it is. Seven of Pentacles in the mentality with the Ace of Wands energy. He would have made a lot of money. He had money saved. He could have been saving his money through this gig. He was thinking Ace of Wands, like I said, was also another music label, transferring to another music label, but would have done the same thing. So if he managed to go to another label, they would have done the same thing, that the label that he was threatening to leave or sue, they would have done the same thing with him, with his information. But I'm getting this idea to help a baby mother, like I said, is to help her, or a mother of some kind, or the mother of a kid if he had any, or the kid was on the way, something like that. The job, the regular job, the youth-related music job that he was going to go into, prevent him from suing. If he sued, it would have messed up something for these other artists and the mother of the child. It would have messed up things for them. Or a cut that they were promised, it would have messed up. That would have messed up something for them. What's changing is the Empress. Is it Empress? Yeah, this is the Empress energy. Empress would be a Libra or an Aries female. So he could have been dealing with an Aries female. The Empress would be a mom, a mother, or someone that is a mother. Lawyer, mother, girlfriend, Empress energy. Someone in the industry, like I said, older woman, she's older. There's an older woman, and there's one there's an older woman. There's the energy of Asian doll that they kept talking about that was surrounding him. There's the energy of a baby mother that is a leech of some kind. There's that, or somebody that was potentially a baby mother, like the Queen of Cups, or that's the energy of a lawyer as well too, or somebody else like a family member that is receiving something, whatever it is. But the Empress is here because that's the energy of an actual mom. That's the energy of a mother or someone that is Empress like, that works in the industry. Like I said, an older woman. Libra, Aries female. You got Queen of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces woman as well too here. These two women. There's two women here. And then Page of Wands is a kid. And then it's also the energy of the girl that he was dealing with. That isn't Sag. Page of Wands is Sag. Queen of Cups, Aries and Libra female. They're in a changing position. And they also wouldn't help him with something as well. They wouldn't help him, or they disagreed with a plan that he wanted to execute. They wouldn't help him. The Ace of Wands is there. The Nine of Wands is them not helping, or they never did, or they've stolen something and that's why they weren't helping. You know, they stole something, that's why they weren't helping. Or they were in the process of stealing. You know, something can also be for their home. You know, it's a mother or someone that's in the industry. These women here, something is also for their home. That's why I was getting the idea of an estate and those kind of things. Something that's for their house. A mom's house or someone in the industry, their home. That's for their home. So whatever, him being taken out, whatever he had that is then getting generated for them is supposed to get the idea of a housing loan too. So it's related to a housing loan that either he could have wanted to take out, or someone that he was attached to wanted to take out with his information. Somebody wanted to do that. The resolution has the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups going towards the Nine of Wands energies there. So Eight of Cups will be this energy. It's Eight of Cups with the Queen of Cups is what she asked for. What she asked for, what was promised to her, what was given to her, what she kept asking for. And this house, it could be, like I said, house related, or a lawyer or a manager or someone, like I said, or an industry lawyer was working with the mother of his child or his mother. And it's for housing, and it's for housing loans, and it's for estates. And someone is wondering how it's even possible that someone was wondering at the time, was it possible for them to use what he was questioning was being deducted from his account, was being used for someone that he didn't necessarily give permission for that person to use or have access to. There's that. But it's house related. It's like estate related. Could be even car related. In the suing and wanting to sue a lawyer. So the lawyer is then taking drastic measures. The lawyer, the manager or somebody is taking drastic measures to get him to not, they're taking drastic measures to get him to not even pay attention to something that is like that. That's to get him to not pay attention to something that is tax related, or even his information period to get him to pay attention to. But the Eight of Cups is going towards the Nine of Wands because of what they asked for, or who they asked to do something or takes care of something for them. Could be somebody could have had a lawyer, could have had a music industry lawyer that he was in communication with, could have a private, that somehow they had money, or they had some type of with a private investigator of some kind, And then there's Nine of Wands energies in the future. There's the Nine of Wands could be police officers, So he, in turn, the Eight of Cups with them is that the club environment that he's in, and this argument that is breaking out is because of a deal that somebody received that he didn't know, or something that he was venting about. He may have been venting to the wrong person about. And then that person then took matters into their own hands, They took matters into their own hands. He was venting to the wrong person at the wrong time about something like that. You know, what was happening with, I also get insurance, what was going on with insurance, somebody's insurance, his own insurance, his music industry insurance. What was, something was happening there with it, or somebody was using it, or someone was just given access to use it without his permission. But he's venting to the wrong person. So the retaliation, retaliation about that to the wrong person is chain reaction, because that person, and I also get making a call, that person is then making a call. They're making 8 of Cups, 9 of Wands. That person is making a call. So whoever he was venting to, he doesn't know they're involved. And then, hence, they're then making a call to someone in the industry. They're then making a call to his manager. They're making a call to his music industry lawyer, female, male, whatever. There's a lot of females here. So it's a woman that is being called in emergency, and they're like, this, it needs to be handled. Somebody's like, we need to handle this. Another artist made a call to his manager. Another artist made a call to his music industry lawyer. Somebody's baby mother energy is coming through. Some female that he was dealing with intimately, that there's a child attached to her, she made a call because another artist or girl that he was dealing with, they're really tight somehow, and they're making calls. He's finding out this, that, and third. He's finding out we took out the housing loan. He's questioning his something being subtracted from his pay he's supposed to receive. We have it. He's venting to us. We don't know. He's venting to us, and he doesn't know that it's us that is receiving it. So they're making the calls to someone, and they're complaining to someone, hence the reason for a fight breaking out. Or that's one aspect of it. At least that's one aspect of it. Something that's there. That's one aspect of it. There's too many women involved with information and secrecy. Too many women involved with his lawyer, even, or whoever's responsible for paying him in the industry, manager. Too many women involved there. The manager could have just been involved on their own. The manager, whether male or female, may have been just too involved on their own with the women that he was dealing with intimately. And that's the Asian doll girl, and that's another woman that has a child for him or something, or she's pregnant, something like that. They're too involved with something that he had going on privately, and they're causing problems. And they're making calls in the club. Somebody that was in the club that he was hanging out with, and they made a call to the manager. They made a call to somebody. They made a call there, okay? And the call kind of like, is what caused him to pass through a call. Alright, let's see here. Let me do an outcome on what happened. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Oh wait, I didn't mean to do that so many times. Let me do that over the outcome first and what happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, okay, so there's a Taurus female here. There's just a Hierophant. It's a Taurus female that's there. And then the Taurus female could have been around. There's a Cancerian energy. That could be a Cancerian female. It could be a Cancerian male, water sign male. There's a Cancer there. And this also represents travel. And the travel could have been someone on their way as well. I'm getting that. Someone was on their way. And it could be the Queen of Cups energy that was on their way. Or it could be a male Cancer that was on their way. That could be a cop. That could be someone in the industry. That could be someone. I get a discussion. Someone was traveling to discuss something with him. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Or diffuse an argument. 8 of Pentacles and 2, 3. Trying to resolve. And then there's the World, which is sign of Capricorn, but it's the World energy. So the chariot with the Eight of Pentacles in the world would mean the idea is to diffuse an argument, but it didn't really get diffused. Like, it didn't really get diffused. It didn't. It ended in him getting shot by someone who they claim was the guy that shot him. You know? The guy that shot him, this Pentacles here, the guy that they said that shot him was a Virgo. And there's Eight of Pentacles there. There could have been one scenario about it where he was discussing with that person, you know? He was discussing with that guy what was going on. Or someone that he was talking to inside of the club then called that person, or they called him over, or they called him on the phone. That could be how they ended up there, you know. But it's the idea of it is pretty straightforward. The idea of it is a heist between that guy that shot the person that shot him and these other artists. And there's a baby mother involved, then there's a motherly figure involved, there's lawyers and managers, they're involved behind the scenes, and they're discussing with these other people that are supposed to be like his friends. They're discussing with them, what can we do, you know? And they could have had somebody come there, the guy come there, or he was just already there. But I'm getting this feeling he wasn't there in the beginning. He wasn't there in the beginning. In the beginning, as in, like, he wasn't there in the beginning. Whenever they got there, he wasn't there, or he came later. He could have came later. He traveled to come there later. He was there later. So the time that he got there, that guy was probably not there. They were called. Okay? They were called there because of what he's saying he wants to do, suing wise and all this stuff. And that could have really messed up these other artists. Or him, that other guy, if he wasn't even an artist. That could have really messed up that person. You know what's interesting about it is that the guy that they claim that shot him, that person is intertwined with that Queen of Cups energy, the baby mother, girlfriend energy, that even, I'm sure you have more than one girlfriend or someone that he was dealing with intimately. That girl or one of those women is intertwined with the person that pulled the trigger there. They called him. So I feel like he got to the nightclub, the time that he was there, that person wasn't there yet because they were called. They weren't there yet because they were called. Alright? Alright. That is, that is King Zvon's reading. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about it, please let me know. You have my email, iamakasha108@gmail.com, or my Instagram at AmaniIfe777. Alright. May your spirit go with peace. Be well. Take care. Bye.